Well, Andrew, it's wonderful to meet you, man. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. So before we get into your work as a writer and your vision and what you're doing, I want to know first and foremost, 5 years ago, this pandemic was changing so much about our lives. How did you get through that era, and how has it influenced the way that you work and do things today?
Well, I mean, that was a tough time for everyone. During the pandemic, I was living with my fiance, her daughter, and her mother. My fiance, she committed suicide in July of this year. So we were together for 5.5 years. Um, During that time, like her daughter was doing the homeschooling. I was selling cars. I ended up getting my fiance a job selling cars, and we worked throughout the entire pandemic. So, I mean, it definitely changed how we sold cars a little bit,
Yeah.
but it really didn't impact us profession. If anything, it impacted me professionally in a good way, because the cars were a lot harder to come by, and they were selling for a premium, and commissions were great. And so, if anything, it helped there. But where it didn't help was with like isolation and dealing with kind of the stress that comes with not being able to leave your house, not being able to see anyone. And I mean, that's going to take a mental toll on anyone because, we're interdependent people,
Yep.
we kind of rely on each other, and community is a big part of the human experience. So taking that away, it definitely was an adjustment.
So let's get into what you do right now today on the daily basis. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-old kids. It's career day to school, and one of the kids wants to know what you do for a living. How do you answer that child?
Well, I tell stories that help inspire other people. Um, to let them know that no matter how bad things get, things can get better. That's how I'd describe it to a 12-year-old.
So when you were 12 years old, what did you want to be when you grew up? What was your dream life?
Baseball player or an actor?
Okay. Who was your player growing up?
Um, I liked I liked some Brewers. I liked Jeff Jenkins. I liked Richie Sexton. I liked some of the Astros, the Big B's, Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio, and
Yeah.
Lance Berkman. They were, even though it was same division at the time, I enjoyed watching Brewers versus Astros.
So are you originally from the area there, or is that where you were born and raised?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
So tell me, what were the foundational seeds that were planted into you that were harvested to become where you're at today? How did all of this evolve into who you are today?
Well, I mean, I guess the foundational seeds would be hard work, dedication, persistence. And I mean, I learned that just from kind of watching my dad. I mean, he was always working, always. And, that had its pros and cons. For one, he wasn't as present as I wanted him to be growing up, but on the other hand, he taught me what it looks like to take care of your responsibilities and to be there for others. I mean, before his mother passed, he worked a second shift job that was a very physical job, and then he'd take care of our house, he'd take care of his rental property, and then he'd go to his mother's house and take care of her house also. So he was always busy doing something. So, and then I'd say honesty and authenticity, because if you don't if you don't believe in whatever it is that you're doing, other people aren't going to believe in it either.
Yeah.
It takes some conviction.
So who's been your hero? Who's been your ultimate inspirational force to allow you to evolve to where you are today?
My grandmother,
Yeah.
I mean, she's the saint reincarnate. She's 96 now. She's basically lived a life of service. She did a lot of volunteer work for her church, for the National Association for the Mentally Ill. My uncle is a paranoid schizophrenic, and so I mean, even to her advanced age, I mean, up until her 90s, she'd go exercise once a week. She has my uncle over at her house every single weekend, and in I want to say like 2008 or something like that, she was recognized by the city for like Citizen of the Year. There was like a little presentation for her at the Marriott, and she's given this little plaque and stuff. So yeah, I mean, just her giving nature, she'd be my biggest role model.
So if you can meet anybody on the planet right now that you find inspirational that might help you on your journey, have a lunch, hang out, talk to them a little bit, who would you love to meet and talk to?
Hmm. I'd say probably it would either be someone like Deepak Chopra, or it would be someone like Mark Cuban. So it would either be someone who can help me guide me a little bit more spiritually, which that is a big part of what I do and what guides me, but to just kind of tap into that a little bit more. um, or someone who can give me some advice and guidance on growing a business, because my vision is to turn a Vision of Hope Media into a full-fledged media company where I'm publishing other people's books, we're doing podcasts, we're doing blogs, we're doing television shows, movies, like all of that. And I want the theme to all be, around the same theme of overcoming adversity, redemption, faith, perseverance, things of that nature.
So talk to me about your book, A Vision of Hope. Give me an overview and abstract.
Yeah, so I mean the 30-second I guess pitch is, I spent my late teens and 20s battling addiction, incarceration. I did 2 prison sentences. I went through seven or eight treatment programs before finding meaningful recovery. So what it is it's a cautionary tale for people who may be headed down that road, or it serves, as the name suggests, a vision of hope for people who are already there, that no matter how dark life gets, there is light that can be found if you have the eyes to see it and the gumption to walk towards it.
So what was it? What was it that finally stuck that made you see the light and to change things? Was there a moment? Was there a person? What was the exact kind of change?
It was a series of moments. So the first began with a previous relationship, which allowed me to see an alternative life for myself that I did not believe was possible. So that kind of planted the seed that I could have better. And then, I messed it up with my using. I ended up back in jail and back in another treatment, and that ended the relationship. But the seed had already been planted. So then I got out, and I was I was a mess, honestly. Like I was distraught over the loss of the relationship, but I dove into recovery. I ended up getting a year clean before my relapse, which led to my last incarceration and treatment when I wrote this book. So then I'd say that was one of the final pieces, was writing the book. It helped me kind of relive everything and process, things that I hadn't really looked at. And it was a very cathartic process.
So let me ask you this. At the end of the day, what are you ultimately the proudest of? Of everything that you've done, you've accomplished, you've become at this point, what is it that rises to the top that you're the proudest of?
I'd say probably my attitude and my mindset, more than any specific accomplishment. Just with all of the adversity and difficulties that I've faced in my life, and the fact that I am still positive and I still want to help people, and I want to use my story for to help other people, give other people the courage to share theirs, because I feel like that's where healing happens. So, I mean, I could say the book, I could say, buying my condo, I could say, the success I had in car sales or relationships, but I'm going to say it's my mindset.
So what is it when your alarm clock goes off in the morning and you get up? What is it that is your big motivator, the energy to do your work at a high level, help lives around you, take care of your own soul? What is it that allows you to do that at a high level?
Well, I guess it's the vision that I see for the world, because I feel like there's a lot wrong with the world, but that the world in itself is a good place filled with good people, and it's just realigning to our values and our beliefs, and improving those connections with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us. So that's really what motivates me, is creating the change that I want to see.
So let me ask you this. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, everyone that gets your book, everyone that knows you in different capacities. They all have an idea of who they think you are, but you're the one that runs the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think I am a kind and compassionate person who is driven, who has morals, values. I believe in honesty. I believe in connection. I believe in authenticity. I believe that anything is possible so long as we have the belief and we put forth massive action. Because that's actually one of my favorite quotes in the book is a decision without action is nothing more than a thought. Because we can decide to do something, but until we actually start putting forth the effort to do it, nothing's going to get done. It's just a thought. So yeah.
I love it. So, if you had a dream tonight, you ran into that 12-year-old version of you and you gave them kind of a coffee table book of your life right now, what you're doing, what you've accomplished, where you're going, would that young version of you believe it?
No, no, definitely not. I mean,
Yeah.
that 12-year-old version of me, he's big into dare. I'll never do drugs. Like he's a straight A student. That was before the trouble started.
So, if anyone wants to get a copy of the book, they want to reach out, they want to look at all the good work that you're doing, where's the best place to go?
A visionofhopebook.com. You can find all the links in there.
Okay. I will put all of these links in the show notes. Andrew, thank you for your story. Thank you for your courage. I appreciate your time today, man. Best of luck with everything.
Yeah, thanks. You too. Thanks for having me, Joe.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Take
All
care.
right.